Hello?
Hey, I never had the play tickets.
Are you listening to the show right now?
No.
Did he hang up? Okay. So therein lies another just freakish ability of Captain League. This doesn't go out to the masses live, but somehow he's hearing us. It's like he's omnipresent and omniscient, like God. Welcome aboard another brand spanking new season of another Below Deck podcast. My name is Dylan. I'm settled up next to one Patrick Hickey.
Permission to come aboard.
Granted. How are you, buddy?
I'm great. New season, fresh start, new people. You know, it's...
Are we starting a new season or what?
Yeah, and this is... is sailing my favorite? No, I think this one's my favorite. And plus, we got our friend of the show, Fraser, so...
Yeah. Sailing's still my favorite, though, because of all the knives that fly. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this show does not have knives flying, but we haven't seen the whole season. I can't tell you how excited I am to start a new Voyage. I think everybody was a little fatigued.
Big time.
By the end of Mediterranean, what with all of the... Anne and Luca drama.
Anne and Luca drama, Kyle drama, Natalia drama. I mean, Frenchman drama.
Right. But my only thing was like, we were crescendoing towards the end of the season. And like the main storyline was like, are Anne and Luca going to be a thing? And it's like, no, Luca is an incubus. He's a sex demon. No. Can we be done now?
Yeah, we're done. We're starting the new season.
And it looks so good. Before we get into it, public service announcements. Patrick, take it away.
Sure. Okay, so we have another feed called Bad TV Podcast. There, Ruby, Dylan, and I recap Vanderpump Rules. We recap Single Life, 90 Day Fiancé.
Yeah.
We will give a couple episodes of Love is Blind Season 5, which drops next week.
Yep. And then it will be
behind a paywall called patreon.com/another podcast network.
I have been, maybe we'll do it on another podcast show. It's a show we do at Patreon. I have been feuding with Patreon. This support email, this support thread, oh my gosh, is it yummy. God,
is that what you're going to read on another podcast?
Well,
show?
I might. I mean, you know how much I relish a good back and forth with customer service. Mm-hmm.
Love what you did with Southwest. That was great.
Yeah, that was great. They won, as they always do. But
Uber Eats also won
against me.
Yeah. Right?
No. Uber Eats never wins. I always get $1.87 in credit. You know what I mean?
It's the small wins.
No, I've taken down Uber Eats. Listen, dude, when I go up against the corporate evil, I always come out on top, except against TaskRabbit. I don't want to get into this stuff, okay?
Yeah, we got a lot of
talk about the show.
All right, Dylan, can I give my thoughts and knots first?
Absolutely.
Okay. For any new, we call you Baby Barnacles for listeners of this podcast.
Welcome.
Just so you know. Welcome and share the show. You're going to love it. No one does it better than us. Okay. I loved this first episode, but I didn't realize until hindsight, I looked back at my notes after I watched the show, it was mainly character development. Because in the first episode, nothing happened.
No, nothing happened.
Nothing happened. But this is the...
Can I really quickly add something?
Of course.
What can make nothing happen, even more nothing, on Below Deck, are nice charter guests. What we had tonight was a gaslighting mama of an hour and a half between courses and nothing said about it. Well, I'll get into it later. It's one of the most unbelievable things I've ever seen.
Chef Anthony.
Since pouring corn on top of nachos.
Now, to be fair, Dylan, to these charter guests, they were polite about that hour and a half between, I believe, the appetizer and the entree.
Right.
They're spray painting the fucking cabin walls with sex juice. God damn it.
Right.
You know what you got to get? You ever try and clean up sex juice off walls? It's like a fucking spider web. You need a blowtorch to clean it off your hands.
Right.
So, okay.
Yeah, that or gasoline.
All right. Back to my thoughts and knots.
Yeah.
Okay. Any season of Below Deck, the best episode is kind of the first episode because you're meeting new people and you're like, who's going to hook up with who? Who's going to hook up with who? And guess what? This season, anybody can hook up with anybody because after 11 seasons of production for Bravo, they finally fucking realize no one wants to see rats who or have a significant other.
No.
Finally, every person on the boat except Captain Carey, he doesn't count, is single. Anything can happen. Thank you.
It's like that Ellie Goldie song.
What is that?
I think it's Ellie Goldie. Anything can happen.
Sounds great.
Anything can happen.
Can I find that on Spotify?
You can find it on Spotify.com.
Nice.
actually,
Okay.
yeah.
A couple other thoughts here, and then I'll move on. This show always innovates itself, Dylan. It's always innovating. Did you see the new camera shots
It's
they
like
have?
Apple. Yeah, I was gonna say the
They had
transitions are so high def.
Oh man! And not only that, they got like the hidden cameras tucked in appliances. One thing. At one point, I thought I had a camera angle from a toaster.
Yeah, you got
I always
out of
want to
breath.
know what that angle looked like.
You
I
know
want
what?
to count someone's nose hairs.
It's so funny that they cut to like, so you know how sea rats have like little kind of like claws that they use to like make all the drinks and stuff. When you see that in high def, like sloppily cutting a wedge of lemon for a drink that's overly sweet, it's really actually kind of nice.
It's innovating, though.
Yeah.
Okay, just a couple notes, and then I'll move on. Jared, he is a new archetype. He seems like a nice guy, very overwhelmed by the pressure. I know that we've seen that before, but there's something more. There's something under this. I don't think he's gonna last.
Okay.
And that was kind of fun.
I
Nice guy, though.
I wish that we could just go ahead and say it.
Oh right.
Yeah.
Because we talked to Fraser and he told us everything.
No, you're not catching my drift, but let's just say, I think that Jared's, he's high.
He's a stoner.
He's high as a kite.
Yeah. He's got the stoner laugh and the cough.
Right.
And I think he has an unhealthy relationship with alcohol.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know yet. So look,
Right,
dude,
right.
I don't know yet. I'll have to get to know you.
Yeah.
Anyway, amazing first entry into season 11 of Below Deck. I'm going to give it 90 knots, dude. Oh, Dylan's lighting up. You're sparking up. Look at you.
Sorry, that was not good timing. Listen, I loved 99 is way too high. And you know that. And that's a bad way to start the season.
Starting too high. The bar is too high.
Just, you know that. Almost everyone on this boat is concerningly incompetent, and that is perfect. That is what we want on this show. If you're not incompetent, we want you damaged. And we have that. I mean, we have a vampire.
I'm going to call her Vampira.
Okay.
And by the way, I do want to point out,
Okay.
she says almost out of the gate, she doesn't like people. She doesn't like to be around people. She doesn't like to talk to people. Great choice in occupation.
I love her so much. She is my spirit animal. And I can't wait to meet Vampira more and more as the episodes go along. Mm-hmm. But I'm really looking forward to the season. It looks like it's going to shape up pretty good. Let's get into it.
Okay. Now, Dill, how are we going to do this? Because we have everyone shows up to the boat, and if you don't mind, I'd like to just kind of do it chronologically.
Yeah,
how
I would
we
love
see
to
it.
do that too.
All right.
But first, I think we should probably, and this is a little impromptu, and I apologize if this is a little stumbly.
Okay, what is
it? But we have something that we did last season. I don't know if you're going to be upset by this, but we have a new captain.
Oh, man. That's right, we do, don't we? Yeah, new captain, man. Captain Carey from Below Deck Adventure.
Yeah. Below Deck Adventure. And it's, listen, I know that we've already eulogized Lee, and Lee has started a podcast about like the Real Housewives or something. So he is an enemy now. But I think we would be remiss if we didn't just say.
Oh, my phone's ringing. Hold on. Hello?
Oh, he sounds sick.
Hey, I got some inside information. That Captain Carey guy, he killed people at a rest home once. All right, I gotta go.
Yeah. Lee is being so catty, defaming Carey, calling him serial killer. Like,
It's pathetic.
It's pathetic, and he's getting him confused with Captain Glenn very clearly. But we kick off with the James Cameron trailer intro of the season.
This was insane. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's quite an epic opening sequence.
Our protagonist, the secret agent, Captain Carey.
Okay, yeah, this is wonderful. All right, very grand in nature. We spend some time getting to know Captain Carey. You know,
Yeah.
he describes his occupation less like a dude that drives a boat around for a bunch of rich assholes for an overpriced vacation, and more like someone who kills Bond victims.
Yeah.
You always have to look around the corner.
Right.
Why?
Yeah. It's like sitting down with like Smedley Butler or somebody. You're like,
Just look at the screens and the buttons on the boat.
I'm
Don't
sorry. Have you seen like a lot of theater, or do you just drive a boat?
Gotta watch out for nature.
Now, I'm not saying that driving a boat of this size isn't impressive. It is, but cool it with the secret agent stuff a little bit. Frasier.
Oh, wants to fist fuck a season.
Does he really?
That's what he said. Good laugh there. I want to remind Frasier, friend of the show, by the way, love you, dude. TV shows don't have assholes. Okay?
Not literally.
I see what you did there.
Because they're not really, I don't know, like it's interesting. Like what kind of
Play on words there.
what kind of fauna would you put a TV show in, you know? Interesting to think about. Frasier is a therapist and a garbage disposal. He is also the king and queen of the show, a friend of the show. One of the things that I'm so excited about is just having Frasier back. I just think he's a fucking awesome. No. I just mean as a chief stew.
Oh, yeah,
I think he's a great chief stew. Even when he's doing categorically poorly, it's great. You know, and again, it's difficult to judge somebody on their alleviation of a blood feud in their crew. Like sometimes you very rarely are going to fix that.
No.
You know? All right. So Jill Zarin will not be a stew, but she will be on the show. I think she should be a stew. I think that Bravo should probably work on that because it would be amazing. Jill Zarin as the chef.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh, did we get that first, or do we have Barbie first?
Barbie is our next person.
Self-described Argentinian daddy's girl. Her tits and drawn eyes, eyebrows might be fake, but she's real.
Okay. So I'm so happy that you said that gross thing that you said, because I want to talk about Barbie. Obviously the woman seems spoiled and dumb, right? But sometimes, and very rarely, sea rats prove to have more depth.
Oh, yes.
You know?
And she's got quite the work ethic on her.
Quite the work ethic, you know?
So don't sell her short.
No, absolutely. But, you know, I only say that because she seems mean and overly proud of being wealthy. And she's also a sea rat. Like, I don't know how you fall from Ferraris in Argentina to being a sea rat. I think it's mistake after mistake after mistake. But listen, we'll get to know Barbie.
We will.
Ben is
back.
up next.
Didn't work out with Camille. Who would have seen that coming?
I didn't see it coming.
No.
I thought they were perfect for one another.
Well, she cheated on him.
Yeah.
But looks like he's going to be the player again this season.
Yep, absolutely. Plump Nips, we know him very well. Zandy is up next. She is my favorite person already. She is a witch. She is a vampire.
Only comes out at night.
She also seems to have a serious drinking problem,
Big time.
which is... I mean, I can't tell you how important that is.
She's going to be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jared, I don't know the man yet, but he, as you pointed out, he likes the weed. He's got the stoner laugh. He might also be a drunk.
He has the stoner posture, the stoner stature, the stoner vibes, the stoner everything. The man is spanked.
Sunny up next. Her crutch, she likes emotionally unavailable jerks. I'm sure her SRS scale will be off the charts. That is the C-Rat sad scale.
I don't know, though. People from Quebec are pretty, although Quebec might be like this, like the more like noir part of Canada.
Are you nuts, dude? Any place that's cold and you can't go outside 3 months of the year, you got a problem with alcohol.
Oh, no. But Canadians seem so happy.
You think so, huh?
Yeah. Okay. I actually played golf with a nice Canadian couple this weekend.
Oh, that's nice.
Peter and Kathy. She skull fucked a lot of balls over the green, and because of that, we had to leave early. And I hated her for a brief moment, but no one wants to hear about this. It's like, Kathy, what are you doing? All right.
Anyway, I was going to say, Sunny, her dad is probably a drunk.
Okay.
Speaking of drunks, Kyle.
Okay. Yeah, of course.
We have Kyle. His establishing shot is drinking whiskey from a bottle. I understand he's Scottish, but and that's like drinking orange juice.
Yeah.
But be responsible. Don't whip out your balls to every stranger you walk by.
I'm very, very happy that you brought up that it was like drinking orange juice, because when we talk about C-Rat drinkers, there are obviously different species. There's not just one kind of rat. There are multiple kinds of C-Rats. Mm-hmm. And he is not going to get as fucked up, I don't think, as some of some others.
Time will tell.
Time will tell. But Scots are professional drinkers, I can suck
That's
down,
true.
2 handles of whiskey, and then he starts punching horses in the face. Kat, the California girl, is up next. What is her dream job is the question she asks.
She doesn't know, but she'll come up with it while removing urine from a toilet.
Yeah, the question was a VO from her, and that is asked as they show her cleaning a toilet, which is, if people think we're mean, like, what we're doing is we're picking up on what this show is trying to tell us, that the working class are pathetic and that we should all strive to not be them. And blame Bravo for that. That's not us.
Mm-hmm.
That's not us. They're trying to tell you that there is no pride in this. And that's all we're seeing. Mm-hmm. What happens?
Oh, nothing. I think we have a Chef Anthony last. He claims to work well under pressure. I guess we'll see about that. And then it's time to, get into the show.
Yeah, see, I could totally tell that you were distracted by something.
Jesus Christ, my fucking phone's going off the goddamn hook. Hello?
Who is it?
Hi. It's a secret message.
Is this Lee?
No. Captain Kerry. He's got a telemarketing scam where he...
Can I talk to him real quick?
Yeah,
Can I talk to him?
Lee, is this you?
Let me talk to him.
No, it's not.
And that's the improv. That was it.
Captain Kerry, he runs a telemarketing scheme. He's whipping off old people. I gotta go.
All right. There we go.
See, listen, we had that improv class many years ago at 9:15 at night.
9:40.
By a couple of cool cars. Mm-hmm. And that night didn't go well for you. I don't think that you like improv.
No, I hate improv. Mm-hmm. But you know what I do like?
Granada?
No.
Okay.
Teal. And that's going to be the color of the uniforms this season.
Yeah. I'm a fan of teal. Mm-hmm. You know where you see a lot of Tahil? What? A lot of teal on Kahunga.
Kahunga.
Tahunga. Yeah. Because what is that stone? What's that stone?
Oh, it's a beautiful stone.
It's a beautiful stone.
Can't think of the name.
All right, go ahead.
Forgive me. All right, well, we're in Grenada. Fraser and Captain Carey catch up. Fraser learns that his staff has 4.5 minutes of experience in total.
Yeah.
Great. And Carey has some advice for him. Watch that.
Turquoise.
That's right.
Turquoise. But that's the color, too. Mm-hmm. Right, so it's not quite teal. No one is experienced on this boat. Frasier arrives and says that he's not going to allow anybody to bite his tits this season, and he is disgusted by the color of this.
He doesn't like it as much as I do.
Jared strikes me as, and I wrote this before I had seen the rest of the episode, so it makes it rather obvious, but right the first time you see him, you're like, okay, so this is the sacrificial lamb. This is the person who is going to get absolutely
bludgeoned
in a kosher. It's kosher animal processing. What's going to happen to this guy?
I hope he gets his shit together and finishes out the season, but not a good start.
Yeah.
Dylan, our first season that we ever covered of this actual version of the show, there was a bosun named Chandler. He lasted 3 episodes, and they really realized he wasn't up for the job pretty quickly. And he was,
unlikable people cannot lead others. They just can't. Anthony is next. He is identical to Frasier's ex, and also fraudulent, but we'll get to him later.
A little C-Rat sad history here.
Okay.
Jared does mention that how he ended up being a C-Rat. He was hanging drywall in Connecticut, and he said, I don't want this for the rest of my life.
Yeah. They cut to a really cool picture of, I think that they were installing a jacuzzi, or maybe it was a countertop or something like that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm glad he's here. We get to his usurper, Ben. He's been working as a bosun. He knows this boat like the back of his hand, and he's a little. What are we doing?
Yeah,
I mean, we can see this coming from a mile
we
away.
can. I'm glad you pointed
imagine hiring somebody just to slay them? That's exactly what they've done with Jared.
They have done that, but if you really think about it, Ben, he's okay with it because it's going to give him more time to sleep with half the boat.
Right, yeah. 100%.
Vagina, anchor watch.
Yeah.
Vagina, anchor watch. Vagina, anchor watch.
Barbie is up next. I continue to really dislike this person. Unironically failing to acknowledge a safety net, the likes of which few people ever get to experience, while talking about wasting your hard-earned money on jewelry, is enraging.
Now, Dylan, you and I, we're going to disagree on this. Agree to disagree.
Yeah.
What would you do with your C-Rat tip money?
Yeah.
Put it in an investment like diamonds, or fucking flushing it down the toilet at a fucking bar on a night out?
Well, interesting that diamond was the first investment that popped up, but
some purses.
Yeah. No, I mean to say, I don't think that she necessarily has to pay for a lot of life expenses.
Well, that's why she said she's investing in all these expensive handbags.
Oh, you think it's an investment?
It is an investment.
It is an investment.
Attack Dylan in those comments.
It is an investment. So we get to Zandy, then Sonny boards the boat. Then we get back to Jared, who is freaking out.
He's freaking the fuck out.
He's
freaking the fuck out.
Kyle. Scotland Highlands is up next, and then Kat. And then we get to our first crew
meeting. Yeah.
Now, we first kind of unroll Carrie's CV. We cut through all the places that Carrie's been. And what this is these are the editors just really honing in their Adderall milligrams, and they're just like, let's just show everybody what we can do this season with this font and these high definition licensed pieces of footage of places like Norway. And then we get back to Norway, and I'm reminded of that franchise
and how much we hated it.
Nerds. They cast a whole group of nerds to run a boat.
It sucked. Well,
Carrie, a racist cowboy whose mother slays horses.
I forgot about that dude.
That was one of the wildest stories. His mom was accused, I think, of killing or stealing livestock.
No, neighbor's horses.
It was killing. She killed a neighbor's horse because they were in a dispute.
Because a little lie.
He was like, people told a lie about my mama. She's been running. She killed a horse, man. It's an awful thing to do. If I was microdosing, I would never do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. And that's why we take microdose.
Microdose can help you put the world on your shoulders, literally. All right.
All right. By the way, at some point, Ben, who is clearly the coxsman on the boat, he walks by like his bunk or something. He goes, I know this boat so well. If the walls could talk, they'd tell stories. And I was like, yeah. And the first thing they'd say is, what a womanizing jerk.
Yeah.
I don't like Ben.
Oh, you don't?
I don't like him.
Wow. You know what? We'll get to it later, but he traffics in a kind of shadow aggression that we've seen in Malia and Bugs to a certain degree. You know, it's all fun and pepperoni nips on the outside, but there is a war being waged.
A little back channeling there?
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, can we wrap up?
I was referring to Ben's nipples. I was not referring to Bugs or Malia.
Oh yeah, not their pepperoni tits. Hey, so Carrie, we wrap up this first crew meeting. There's a couple unique things,
and I'm not saying anything bad about it. I'm saying his nipples are plump. I think he has plump nipples.
I like big nipples.
I don't want to talk about this anymore.
Okay. Well, Carrie tells everybody, hey, look, every day is not going to be rainbows and unicorns, you know?
Right.
Every once in a while, you're going to need to cry. And when you need to do that, you come my way. Now, that's quite the contrast from a certain former captain that had a plane pocket full of plane tickets.
Yeah.
You know?
With the exact date and time of the future firing. And it's like...
Shocking.
If you can do that kind of soothsaying, then you have to use it for good. You can't just be a grumpy captain.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, you got to turn your phone on Do Not Disturb.
Hello?
Hey, I never had the plane tickets.
Are you listening to the show right now?
No.
Did he hang up? Okay. So therein lies another just freakish ability of Captain Lee. This doesn't go out to the masses live, but somehow he's hearing us. It's like he's omnipresent and omniscient, like God. He's like a petty God. So,
Interior meeting happens.
Frasier gives his team a little chat. Because of the Alyssa and Millie Illicit drama last season, he's pretty harsh. He's like, listen, if you don't get along here, go. Just go. I don't want to keep anybody. But I feel like as Frasier grows into the profession, and I know that he's been a chief stew for some time, but he's in a new profession, a new position. Less chief stew, much more managing sea rats.
Oh, yes.
And yeah, go ahead.
Well, there's a couple things
It's
that
a
he's learned
completely
from last
different
season.
job.
He's got to watch that line between friendship and being a manager.
Yeah.
And then also he's learned that, look, I'm not going to just hand out these epaulets saying you're first, second, or third.
Yeah.
Let's see how you work. Prove yourself to me. He's learned a lot from that when Sandy was throwing him out like abusing him as a twink that she didn't like.
Yeah, Captain Sandy was brutal on Frasier, and Frasier has learned a couple things. One, turn it into Hunger Games immediately. Make it Hunger Games as quick as you possibly can. Maybe give them weapons. He opts not to this time, but definitely make them earn the title of Primus.
100%.
But also, I would say to Frasier, you can't just tell people who are having, downtrodden times that they can go. That's Frasier not really having mastered the art of managing sea rats, but where he is right now, that's what he needs. Okay, he needs to focus, and if a sea rat needs to go, a sea rat needs to go. Mm-hmm. But I think Barbie and Kat are going to be feuding quite a bit.
Well, we'll see about that.
It's a little bit like that Entourage episode where the Sklar brothers, one slept with the other person's wife, and that bad guy, was very, very good for the agency. But they fired the one who was betrayed by his brother because he was I can see that.
The Sklar brothers go way back to Entourage?
The Sklar brothers have been around making people chuckle for a good long while.
You know what? No one ever mocks them. They always say things at the same time because they're twins.
Yeah.
What a bunch of assholes.
Yeah.
I see what you're doing there. You both think on the same brain wavelength. Wow, hilarious.
Fraser goes around, examines the boat. There's a shit stain on the pillow. I'm not sure if you wanted to talk about that.
No, I didn't see that.
Okay.
But by the way, we spend about the next 10 minutes like doing cleaning montages of the boat. We have a device called a dildo that sprays, I guess, the
Water.
boat down. Yeah, whatever.
Water.
And then we learned that the Scotsman. What's his name again?
Kyle.
Kyle, yeah. Apparently, he nearly lost his asshole in a tragic coat hanger accident or something like that.
Yeah. Now, as impossible as it seems to lose your asshole, we need to clarify that Pat is talking about the actual butt cheek. When the question would rise again, how is it possible to lose a butt cheek? It's such a mass of flesh. It would be like, the only way it could be removed is by something akin to butchery, or maybe some kind of really like thick, like grandfather clock kind of swinging scythe. But I'm in like, those don't really exist here. So I'm confused.
So I got that wrong.
No. You got it right. I'm confused about why a coat hanger branding you could cause you to lose your entire asshole, But he did almost lose it. I'm just not sure what. If we ever talk to him, we'll figure out what went down that evening.
Hey, Dill, can we get to the preference sheet
meeting? Could have been
meeting?
Broad daylight. Yeah. Oh, before we get to the preference sheet meeting, we have to build up the fanfare a little bit because you'll find out what's back in 2 seconds. It's time for the preference sheet meeting. Okay, so tale as old as time. The note ends there. I don't know.
I'll give it to you. Okay, so guests are super fun. I really like them. They're also very super horny. They're also people that put together gangbang parties that you show up and you're like, yeah, I'm going to leave early. I don't want to judge people on their looks.
I hate when you get to those. And because you build up the evening. This isn't going to the recital. We're going to a gangbang party. It's twice a year. And you show up and you're like, this stinks. That we shouldn't have built this up this much.
Well, let me tell you why, man. Because whenever you show up to one of these gangbang parties, there's never Ford models there, No. It's a bunch of people that join nudist camps.
Yeah, well, that's what's so odd about this group of heavyweights. They are really like overtly sexual, but they're overtly sexual in monogamy. They're not these like, well, I know they organize gangbang parties, but like here on this show and not in our made up universe, they're extremely horny, but they're horny with their partners. It's like a couple of slutty penguins flopping around,
Yeah. Especially those kind of penguins that emit, and this was in the preference sheet. Brian and Rebecca, the primaries, they say in the primary preference sheet there, they spend every second with each other. First off, whoever admits to that, you bunch of weirdos, there's something going on behind the scenes. No couple wants to spend every second with each other.
Yeah, unless they're running like an underground syndicate of gangbang parties, and they have to be with each other.
You are picking up what I'm throwing down.
There's a lot of work to be done, and it's a little bit like the two people that have the Coke recipe. Nope, it's not like that at all because they have to be away from each other lest both of them die. So we're going to do ecotourism.
Oh, yeah.
Kayaking through the mangroves.
Oh, Kerry lets us know he loves ecotourism.
Yeah.
You know who doesn't? Everyone who watched Below Deck Adventure, which is why it's canceled.
Well, I was also going to say, listen, people are probably into, what's it called? Ectoplasm. Yeah. But not in mangroves. I don't want to go into a bunch of fucking mangroves and check out the fucking vicious demon turtles.
Hey, Dill, was this at the point where Captain Kerry did a little sea rat history of himself? Was he the one that was a fat kid that read backwards? It smelled?
No, that was who was that?
Was that Kyle? Someone. Normally when you say you're a fat kid that smelled that read backwards, you're good looking now. You know, you're like Jerry O'Connell.
Sure.
That might have been Captain Carey. Anyway, I'll say this.
Okay.
That's a 2 on the C-Rat sad scale.
Yeah.
Did your grandmother get run over by a train while you watched? Because that's what we're looking for.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did your grandmother get run over a train while you watched because you knocked her out because you wanted to play pretend like all the things that you'd seen on television with the damsel in distress?
That's a 10.
That is a 10. That is so fucked up. Sandy is up next.
Vampira. Likes making beds.
She would rather put her hand in a blender than have small talk with primaries, and she means it because if she puts her hand in a blender, she can turn it on. And her hand will just turn into a bunch of bats and fly. She won't get hurt at all.
No. She's a vampire. You know what? I'll say this though, on a serious note, bad occupation choice. Vampira. Go get your long haul trucker license.
Yeah. That's a show right there. Vampire chick long hauler. Mm-hmm. She could kind of infiltrate some seedy pockets of the United States of America. And who knows, maybe even Europe. Directed by J.J. Abrams. I cannot find my notes.
All right, Kat's up next. So it's nighttime. She's very green. She admits that. And she's very Californian. How do I know that? She
gnarly
uses the word
fuck.
gnarly.
Yeah, gnarly as fuck.
And
I don't know how I feel about that word.
Gnarly.
Yeah.
How do you feel about aggro? That's another Californian word.
Yeah. Is it?
Dude's getting aggro, man.
Wow. Yeah, no, it is a very, very real stereotype of people that are more from Southern California. It's not so much a Los Angeles thing as it is like a San Diego kind
San
of
Diego,
thing. Yeah.
but also meets Lake Tahoe, snowboarder, Big Bear.
Sure. Yeah, exactly. So, we eat some sandwiches.
Oh, all right. So, Dill, there's a lot here.
Yeah.
Ben crosses a line, I think, here. He asks Captain Carey some personal questions about himself.
Yeah.
It turns out he painted houses. Did you catch
Yeah,
that?
I
Painted
did.
houses for a little while.
Yeah.
You ever saw The Irishman?
Oh,
You know what painting houses is?
yeah, slaughtering people.
That's code word for a mob hitman.
Yeah, and it's so crazy to just brazenly say that you did it so that you could be closer to your daughters while you were going through a dark period. I mean, Carrie, we know that you want to, before the great day comes, confess to your crimes, but let's not do it so tongue-in-cheek.
Brazenly. Also, he killed people, but it's okay, Del, because, in the mob, when they killed each other, horrifically,
Yeah.
it's because they had it coming.
Yeah, or it's just business.
That's right.
Yeah.
They never involved anybody outside the mob,
Yeah, right.
He
Unless
had it coming. He crossed the line. He fucked the organization over.
Yeah, but they would absolutely kill people outside of the organization, but it wasn't personal. It was just business.
Yeah, business.
Sorry, your grandmother, the baker, died, but she stole a bunch of fucking smack from us, so we had to wipe her out. They said that wipe them out. Okay, so we see Kyle's ass and we wake for a new day. Mm-hmm. Do you know who Frasier puts on things?
I do.
Okay.
Barbie will do dinners because she's polished. Kat will be a floater because she's got a good attitude. And Zandy will move into the laundry room because she's a vampire and she hates people.
I think that works perfectly. Barbie's front of house. Vampire is housekeeping, and Kat is just smoking pot somewhere. Mm-hmm. Anthony is freaking the fuck out. He says that at the restaurant he had 18 employees. Here he has no one. Let's withhold as much judgment as we can, as we've been doing all episode. I feel that the guy might be a ruin kind of guy.
Yeah?
Yeah. I feel that he could be. Maybe not that big of a fraud, but I think that there was a little...
Yeah, with the resume thing.
Yeah.
They do that all the time, these C-rats.
Because I saw the way he cut cabbage, and there's just no way that he could have 18 people underneath him.
So you have
with
the insight
those
to this
knife
stuff.
skills.
Yeah.
Also, there is no chef in the world worth his or her weight in salt that destroys a kitchen when they cook. It's just not done by people who are very good at cooking.
You know, Dill, I'll give the chefs on this show a first charter to kind of figure shit out because you don't know where anything is. You know? But,
totally.
Yeah.
Well, Barbie presents our first complication. She seems to be really, really good at her job. And she talks about that while she sips mate and then moves on to a topic of all the hotels that she's stayed at.
Yeah. She's one of those. She might be making a Instagram influencer play here, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. So Carrie Eagle Eye goes around the boat. Aye, Captain. I mean,
we haven't seen this before. Okay, so I kind of like this. So before the charter, Captain Carrie says, I'm going to do a fucking inspection.
I mean, a really good one.
I've never seen this, and I've been covering this show for 6 years. To go around and look at, I think at some point, boy, he was very micromanaging. He saw that in the bathrooms, do you keep the, what do you call it? The
spigot, whatever.
The plug down, the plug up. He's like, keep it consistent. He's on top of it. I mean, he will fall off because that's what happens with fame.
Well, that was a Jason Bourne kind of thing that he saw there.
Yeah.
You have to, think about that.
You got to notice the little things.
You have to commit to a direction of sink plug. We can't just have things be all fucking Willy Wonka up in here. I mean, that's an unbelievable thing to pick out and then to know why it's wrong.
You know, quite the spectrum. I could also see Rain Man doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. So we suck in and we get to the first charter. I think someone says that she has a barreling vagina. I'm not sure. Frasier gives them a tour. He asks how they know each other. They say best friends. I don't know why I got hung up on this. That's not a great answer. I think it's like it's a normal answer. We're all best friends, but that really does not give you any insight into how they met.
Let me get in your head for a second.
Yeah.
Someone who's going to service you for 2 days asks you a very intimate question.
Yeah.
How do you know about? Well, we could spend 2 hours explaining.
Right.
That.
Yeah.
Or I could just give you the short answer. Shut up. We're best friends.
Yeah. No, you're right.
Because we know you're not listening anyway.
So this is not going to be a pleasure cruise, and that's how I like it. So sorry about that. I mean, I don't know if I have long COVID.
You're a long hauler.
Yeah, I think I might be a long hauler.
My daughter painted my face with sparkles yesterday, and I have a fucking gold thing.
Yeah, I can see it.
You can see it.
I can see it.
I'm trying to get it off my eye. Oh,
yeah.
my God. Things you do when you're a parent.
You know, I had to flush my nose this morning.
With what?
Water and saline solution.
Oh, how you doing?
Well, I'm doing good, but I went to the ENT. They said you might have a deviated septum, but before we stick a camera up your nose, we're going to have to see if you have little inflamed, nodules in there. So what we need you to do is rinse your nose out every morning, spray something in your nose every morning, and spray something else at night. I did my solution this morning.
Yeah?
I'll never do that again.
Oh.
I'll never do that again. And for a doctor to ask me to do that is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, are you aware of what that is and why you cannot start your day off like that?
Hey, Dale. Do you see the gold thing on my head? Can you knock it off? It is driving me nuts right now.
There's something like right there.
Thank you. Thank you. I see better.
It's not going to be a pleasure cruise, and that's how I like it.
There you go.
Jared is
first fuck up.
I
like him, by the way.
Yeah.
He gives me a little Jesse Pinkman.
Oh, absolutely. A lot of Jesse Pinkman there. Less meth, more weed. We forgot to mention that we have a conversation about faraway dads at the galley.
He has a kid that lives in Alaska. That would torture me.
Yeah. No judgment. No judgment.
We don't have judgment here.
No, we don't judge. Jared is, though, just not doing great. He does 2.5 shots into the waterline or above the waterline. I don't know what the fuck they say, but it was meant to be one shot. Right. And this is when he evidently throws Ben under the bus.
Now, I'll break down the game for him.
Yeah.
Okay, so Jared drops 2.5 shots. Kerry wanted one. Ben was supposed to, walk down there and communicate this to him, but he never had time to do it. Jared just did it on his own.
Yeah.
Then by getting on the walkie-talkie and telling him that Ben told him to do it, The good news here, at least initially, is that Ben and Jared are able to kind of squash the potential drama.
Yeah. And then we get to our first lunch. Who doesn't love a bow?
I hate them.
Yeah. I was going to answer the question.
Oh,
Do you remember Take a Bow?
yes.
Loved that place.
Now it's Mr. Miyagi's or Mr.
O's. Mr. O's.
Yeah.
So, I am not sold on this guy. This is where I saw his knife skills.
Oh, really?
And,
Deconstructed pad thai.
well, the food was okay, but the knife skills are sus, and he seems to be in a soft panic attack the entire time. I get it. It's day one, but he does not have a cool meter. And if he does, it's broken and it's hot. This woman sits down. She keeps saying that she's moist. And Carrie arrives at the table. And he says, I'm from the South, the deep South.
He was a fan of Big Little Nicky, an Adam Sandler joint from 2001.
Does anybody know what he's talking about?
Australia, I think, is looked at as the little ugly little stepchild in the south of the equator.
What's it called? Like is it something? Is it like known to be a southern thing?
I don't know. Hey, let us know. We have
Let
a
us
lot
know.
of listeners from Australia.
Yeah, because these southerners don't know what he's talking about.
No, they don't.
All right, so lobster is up next. Deconstructed pad thai on top of the carcass of a sea bug. It's actually a great dish, but good chefs are organized. This kitchen looks like a cartoon tornado flew through it. There is no fucking way, if this guy had really had the career that he had in the types of kitchens that he's talking about, would he do this to a kitchen? I just don't see it ever happening.
I hear that, but I have to question the dinner, Dylan.
Oh yeah,
Pad
we're not even there
thai,
yet.
the component of...
Are you talking about the lunch?
Oh, yeah, I'm
Lunch.
sorry. Peanut butter is a major component of pad thai, yes or no?
Peanuts.
Peanuts, okay. So peanuts and fucking sea bugs. That's a Reese's Cup flavor I'd not be a fan of.
Peanuts could be very complimentary to lots of different flavors. They counterbalance a lot of tingliness from, Laos and Thailand and stuff like that. But you know how I feel about lobster.
Sea bugs.
Sea bugs. It's one of those weird master of the universe flexes where we boil them alive, and it breaks my heart. I was thinking about the other day, you make a chicken tender, you take the chicken breast, you put it in egg wash, and then you put it in flour and breadcrumbs, and you fry it up. So you're taking the flesh of the animal, and then you're bathing it in its unborn children, and then you're putting it in flour and then frying it. I can't even think of a more like we run this shit kind of move. It's absolutely brutal.
In 100 years, our grandchildren will think we were monsters, Dylan.
Holy smokes.
Thank God we'll not be around here to...
Okay, so Cat is being used and abused a bit now. And we've got the beginnings of a blood feud. Barbie versus Cat. Cat starts to cry, and Frasier says that she's not going to last.
As he walks off under his breath. I thought that was interesting.
I disagree with him, and I kind of love her. I think that she's emotional for a good reason. She's very competent, and she has a C-rat with interesting eyebrows kind of bossing her all over the place. She's stressed. Sunny loves ass.
She loves balls. Correction.
Ass.
Loves balls and also likes girls. So, it's quite the conundrum.
Yeah, I mean, listen, this Euphoria generation, they'll take any, No, it's cool. I mean, everybody's bi. That is how we get to the top of Olympus, okay? Mm-hmm. We all start fucking each other, and we stop bathing chicken in their unborn youth. I mean, that's fucking insane that we do that.
When you think about it.
Yeah. So this is a very sexual group of people, like we talked about. And I think that that's what makes them really good friends, because if you're this open about your fluids in front of people who aren't insane, they're going to think that you're insane.
Right. I agree.
Ben feels dumber when he's around Jared. And this is where Ben, I think, has that Malia Bugs thing that I was talking about. it's all puffy nipples and smiles on the outside. But we've seen it with Malia and Bugs. They do this kind of manipulation where little old me didn't do nothing wrong. I just rose to power very quickly.
Except for planting seeds, Dylan. I've talked about this. All you need to do is start telling people something, the same thing 3 times, and you can kind of ingrain it in their minds, in their opinions.
You're talking about like conditioning.
That's the word, yeah.
You're talking about kind of psychological warfare.
100%. But I do want to say that Ben, some of his...
you don't like Ben.
You know, I'll get to know Ben. We'll be friends. We'll interview you.
We've had him for a season already, Pat. You should know if you like him or not.
Well, I called him Boring Ben initially, but, you know, whatever. He's playing a chess game here. But he is kind of right, because Jared says at some point, he sits down in the galley, and he's like, hey, I just want to watch TV.
Yeah.
Sir, they don't allow that on reality TV.
We've literally never seen that one time.
Ever. It did happen, because I looked it up. The first reality show to ban cast members from watching TV was season 2 of Real World. They had a dude on there, a country music singer. He watched TV all day. The entire season, he drank Tang. He got really chubby. And then they banned TVs, and reality TV as a genre said, no more TVs.
Darren, it's our first day of work.
Where's the TV?
Y'all go ahead. I'm going to watch Judge Judy and drink some Tang.
That's what he did.
Darren.
He wasn't even on the show.
Darren, that's your 4th cup of Tang today. I know. It's good for you. Darren, you're all fat now. Would you get out of here? All right, so we have to get to dinner.
Oh, yes. 45 minutes late before it even starts.
45 minutes late before it even starts. But perfection is important
Not only
to
that,
him.
When you're French, it's like going down on a chick. Take your time.
Okay.
That's what he said.
Oh, that's what he said?
Yeah.
Okay, God, I think so. If perfection is as important to him as it is, then he would not serve things that look like that. So we can't have kind of long, oblong and obtuse strands of purple onion, kind of whatever, dead on top of a thing of arugula, right? Because that doesn't look good. That's not perfection. That actually looks like, I don't know, home ec. And also, we can't have be messy, and we can't have be 45 minutes late and then an hour and 20 minutes on the next one.
I could have been a quarter way through Oppenheimer.
No. You would be more than a quarter of the way through.
Oh.
Sorry. I mean, I know that what you were trying to say is that that's a long movie, but this dinner has been over 2 hours, and we've had a flap of raw beef with arugula and 1 oblong onion. And an hour and 20 minutes later, we're going to get something else.
But we don't know yet.
Like I said, this was one of the most insane things I've seen since the Russian spy made those nachos or Kiko made those brownies. I mean, I'm hoping we have real incompetence here on our hands. I don't think so. I think he's just nervous, so we'll see what happens next week. Until then, join us at patreon.com for ad-free episodes, for lots of fun shows. Again, that's patreon.com/another podcast network. iTunes ratings and reviews, 5 stars, kind words. We got to read a couple next week. We will. Join us on the socials, Another Below Deck podcast. We are so excited for this season to set sail, and that hath it done. And so be done we are. My name's Dylan, saying goodbye. Pat, say goodbye.
Later, dudes!